Hello again, nuggets of wisdom coming at you again. My brothers and sisters, I'm going to be extremely slow today, but I want to share something that I shared a couple of days ago. The topic was that black immigrants has no right to disrespect my African American brothers and sisters. In that video, I highlighted about the different things that has been perpetrated, that has been said in the media, and things that have been said over the time, that folks have been, that how black immigrants can come over here, make money, and they think all of a sudden they're better than everybody else. But when you have a moment, I'm going to pin into this video, you can go ahead and watch it. But I'm not going to get into that today. As I was looking at this, there is a lot in this history rabbit hole that I would like to share to you today. My topic today is straightforward. The Willie Lynch syndrome, the plot to continually dividing the black community. Let's talk about it. Welcome back. While it, please like, share, hit the notification bell for new content. So I'm going to actually slow my roll down as much as possible. And guys, I have my notes here, so I'll probably be glancing down from time to time about my notes, because this is something I just don't want to pull out of my head somewhere. I needed to go a little bit more detail. I was going through the history of Willie Lynch, and there's a lot to unpack. And as the community, I want us to realize something. A house divided against itself cannot stand. But the problem that the house that is being divided is not divided on purpose, is done by design. I think you will understand it when I finish cooking this. So I'm not going to bore you with this. Let's get into what the Willie Lynch syndrome does, how it has impacted us as a black community. Neither I say more. We're going to get into it right now. I'm going to cook after the video, and I may need to stop in the middle so I can bring some points. Let's do it.
Just about any topic. In a previous video, I explained who Uncle Tom was and talked about what makes him such a controversial figure. You should check that video out when you get a minute. In this video, I'll answer the question, who is Willie Lynch? By the way, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on notifications so that you never miss a new video. Let's get started. William Willie Lynch was purportedly a white slave owner in the West Indies who was summoned to Virginia in 1712 due to slave revolts in the area. Because of his reputation as an authoritarian and strict slave master, he was perceived as the person best suited to help quash the uprisings. Legend has it that Lynch stood on the banks of the James River in Virginia and delivered a speech to fellow slave owners in which he gave advice on how they can solve their slave problems. According to him, the secret to controlling black slaves was to set them against one another, taking advantage of their differences to promote conflict among them. This method, he said, would ensure that the slaves would be controlled for at least 300 more years. Part of Lynch's speech read,
listen to that. This speech was done in 1712. But the idea is not to stop at 1712. It's a 300-year plan. Let's get into this. Let's continue.
Read, I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. Then I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Lynch went on to say that he
used fear and distrust, envy. If you look at us today, it's the same thing that we're doing today. We fear each other than we fear everybody outside of our community. This is the plan, guys. I'm not going to stop the video. We're going to run into the end, but I just want you to see those things. Then we'll cook the rest at the end of it. Let's go.
Exploited the age and color of slaves, using these attributes to sow discord among them. To outline this method, he said, don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. The full text of this speech was first published sometime in 1970, entitled The Making of a Slave. However, widespread awareness of it only came during the Million Man March in October 1995, when Louis Farrakhan, a renowned religious leader and political activist, quoted a few parts of it to emphasize the lingering effects of slavery in the United States. In particular, he said, "We as a people now have been fractured, divided, and destroyed, filled with fear, distrust, and envy. Therefore, because of fear, envy, and distrust of one another, many of us as leaders, teachers, educators, pastors, and persons are still under the control mechanism of our former slave masters and their children." The making of a slave is certainly impactful and controversial. However, many historians doubt its legitimacy. For one thing, they point out that it contains a lot of anachronisms, such as the words foolproof and refueling, which were only used in the early 20th century. Well, that's it for this video. What do you think? Do you think Willie Lynch's speech is nothing but a hoax?
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. There's a lot to unpack there. A lot. Number one, he said, the light skin against the black skin. Colorism. I don't think Willie Lynch actually stopped here in America. I think he went viral around the world. If you go to countries like Africa, light skin is better. Light is better. Black, we're not so sure. Colorism. Bleaching, black people bleaching their skin so they can look lighter. Not everybody doing it, but this is part of the Willie Lynch syndrome that went viral around the world, but it was said to America. Secondly, class wars. My car is better than your car. My house is bigger than your house. Does that sound familiar in 1712? Absolutely. Willie Lynch. We all, myself included, has been Willie Lynched. Number three, status wars. I got money, you don't. You can't talk to me anyhow. I see all these YouTubers talking. They're all being Willie Lynched, people. Unfortunately, yes, they have been Willie Lynched. Last one, gender wars. Oh my God, where do I start? Male and female, black. Oh, you want a high value man, 50-50, 666, all this nonsense going on. So whether you like it or not, I don't care how high your corporate job is, I don't care how much money you make, it doesn't matter what your status is, you are being controlled. This happened 1712. Before me and you and a lot of us were actually, we didn't even remember. My grandfather probably wasn't even born. We be mind control, people. I want to go to this. If you want to understand your story, you need to have a knowledge of your history. You need to understand the knowledge of your history. When you go to the hospital and you have a disease, like a cancer, the doctors ask you, what's your medical family history? So they can determine if this runs in your family. As far as I'm concerned, 2023, this is still running in our family, people. Still running. And everybody think they're cool. No, you're Willie lynched. No, you're mind controlled. All of us are. Nobody's immune from this stuff, man. So, that messes me up. I look at it and I say, wow, are we this controlled? Really? Willie Lynch went viral round the world. He went beyond United States of America. Because even in Africa, where there's colonialism, we always think Europe, white, is better. Yes, I said it. I'm not against, bro, to years on. What I'm trying to say here is to bring it to our consciousness. If we do not understand our history, how do we attack our story? How do we change our story? And all I'm saying is that the matrix, the system, do not want you to understand what has happened before. So you're constantly going against the things that has been mind control. Are there things that we need to do, which I'm going to discuss later? It's not all are going to be about problems. I'm going to share that as we go. So, man, this is crazy. It's really crazy about what's going on. It is so ingrained in our subconscious, it's mind-blowing. We don't even know we're doing it. We don't even, it doesn't even come down. We think, yeah, we're in 2023. I don't know my ancestors. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah, that was 400 years ago. Blah, blah, blah. Guys, they had a 300-year plan, people. Don't you get it? They had a 300-year plan. So, what happens? The uppity people are there. I'm going to share one of them with you in a moment. I know some people may want to hit me for this, right? But I got to share it. Because for Willie Lynch to continually perpetuate it, for it to continually be in 2023, we're alive as if it was yesterday. Some of us within the black community, what did they say? Distrust, fear, and envy. I say that again. Distrust, fear, and envy are the ways that has been used with us in the black community. We don't trust each other. I got a new phrase for you, my people. We've all been Willie lynched, whether you like it or not. So let me present to you my next video of part of the Willie Lynch army. That sounds very articulate. This is the problem with black folks, that we're very articulate. And because we're articulate, we think we're making sense. Okay, let's get into it. 1 second, guys. We're gonna cook.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
why?
You're gonna relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? Well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Well, you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace, you know me as Morgan Freeman. You're
Black History Month, you find
ridiculous.
mine.
Yeah.
Let me stop that there. These are the Willie Lynch soldiers carrying the message. Don't be fooled by these so-called superstars. Go into your history. Go understand what's going on. I'm going to look at you as not a white man. You know what? You know that ridiculous saying, I don't see color? This is what happens to these folks. They want to rock the shoulders in Hollywood. They make a whole lot of money. So yes, the whole old boy is debate. Distrust, envy, and fear. Distrust, envy, and fear. It's been ingrained in our minds, people. We all been Willie lynched. So it gets me when I hear people like this guy here, and he's talking about the Jewish. Don't get me started about the Jewish community, because they'll never let you forget about the Holocaust. They have Holocaust Remembrance Day every year. On the Hebrew calendar, it's called the word Nishan. They won't let you forget it. But you've been lynched. No problem. Till today, police brutality, it's okay. Stop talking about it. So racism will go away. It will magically disappear. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's going to magically disappear. Your cancer will magically disappear. It's not in your family history, guys. And there are many of them on the internet. If I can pull out 5, 6 of them, I'm not going to do that today. I am not saying that we should not make changes. That's not what I'm saying. I am not saying that we cannot change our community. That's not what I'm saying. We're going to get to that part in a minute. But to think that you can avoid what has, as bad as what has happened to them, to us as a community, either by mentally or physical chains of slavery and colonialism, is crazy. There are things me and you have been through in the last 10 years. You have not got over it. How do you think you can get over things that are that deep, that hurtful, painful to our history? Make it make sense to me. Some of us are still we're dealing with trauma that happened at the age of 5, 2. Then you're talking about a whole generation that went through a whole lot. I'm going to stop there, so I can keep on getting angry. Let's get to the solutions, man. Because I don't want to just talk about problems. What is solutions? Number 1, education. We need to understand our history, and we cannot do that without education. You see that's happening now. You saw this CRT thing going around? If I can eradicate your history, you won't understand your story. It's all a plan. So we have to be consciously educating ourselves of what needs to be done. Number 2, healing and therapy. And when I say healing and therapy, we need to start intentionally loving each other. Let me tell you something about me. In the last, as much as I start reading, I have mad respect for my brothers and sisters, man. I'm not saying I'm going to allow criminal in my house, not what I'm saying. But the love, It oozes out of me. I've grown older. You see me when I see black babies, I see other babies. I love everybody, but that doesn't mean when I see my babies who are black, I just want to, Lord, they're not even my own children. Healing and therapy is what we need. Some of the things that will happen, and that should be a conscious effort. I don't know how that's going to happen, but just going to give you some pointers. Number 3, which we're already doing, the different platforms, community building. Let's have our own community. I have a group called the Power Circle that I joined as men. Most of us are with black African American brothers, people from all walks of life, but most of us are brothers, right? We need that kind of community. Number 4, intersectional analysis. I'm going to read a little bit about that. The Willie syndrome requires an intersectional approach that recognizes the way in which different forms of oppression intersect and they compound one another. This includes recognizing the impact of sexism, classism, and other forms of discrimination in the black community. Mean to see how did they cross-pollinate? How does this work? Right? We have a lot of smart people, right? We need people to make a study of how this actually intertwine into each other. This is beyond government. Yeah, the government can try. Advocacy and policy change. Advocacy can be different things, like how I'm discussing now. It may not be a lot, it just maybe you can actually even come to that consciousness that this actually happened. Lastly, self-care and self-love. James Brown had this song, I'm black and I'm proud, right? That's the song, right? I think we need to have a black and I'm proud moment. Let's love ourselves as never before, people. This is not against any other race, but from the pain I've read and what we've been through, we owe ourselves love. We owe ourselves grace. If you can help in any which way or form, help your brother, help your sister. It might be an organization, it might be something you're doing. Let's do that. Man, I can go on, man. I guess you get the gist. The Willie Lynch syndrome, the continual plot to divide the black community. Olu again, I'm out.